Pisces, hello and welcome back. Oh my goodness. The light looked dim. It still looked dim. I don't know what's going on. Pisces, we're going to get into a reading for you guys to see what the messages are, okay? We are working to get to 50K, you guys. We're really working to get to 50K. And this sage is bumping. Good Lord. Good gracious. Great balls of fire. So you guys do me a favor if you don't mind, so we can keep the energy flowing. Be sure to like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe. Don't bring anything into your life that does not belong, Pisces. That would not be a good idea. Okay? Go with your intuition first. Even when it comes to what I say, even if you respect my opinion, remember, it's still an opinion. And the decisions that you make could have a major impact on your life. So you want to do what your gut and what your discernment tells you to do. Okay? I hope you're all doing well, and I hope these messages help you, Pisces. Thank you so much for all of your support. If you guys want to book a reading, be sure to click the link in the description box below. I also have an email pen pal service, which is not tarot cards, but it's encouragement for you guys. If you want to email me and talk to me about your situations and just bounce ideas off of me, whatever it is that you may have on your mind that you want to share. I also offer a service where you can basically have a one-on-one contact with me about whatever it is that could be on your mind, or maybe something that I've experienced could help give you insight into your situation. That's also a service I offer. I've also added a new service, which is very affordable, right? Because it makes a difference sometimes that you know that somebody is out there rooting for you. And I know the holiday season is coming up, and, you know, a lot of people are dealing with either layoffs or issues because of, you know, certain shutdowns and things that are being threatened, different fear-mongering tactics that are going on, you guys. And I just felt like this would be a good addition to my services, which is prayers. Okay, you ever heard of make a wish? Now you can make a prayer. And basically what this is for $1.11, you can submit a prayer request, which is basically just your request for me to pray for you. Okay. Pray for your family, pray for your kids. This will not include any prayers about people getting their karma or anything like that. All of the details are on my website, which again is linked in the description box below. I'm not going to send you the prayer. It's not going to be all that. It's just you submitting a request for me to pray for you. And I will put you on the list of people that I'm going to pray for, right? Because I do say prayers during a lot of our lives. And, you know, you guys have heard me pray before. And if you have something that you're dealing with, something that you're kind of tussling with and struggling with, I wanted to offer you guys the option to be able to submit that so that I can pray for you guys. And it's just $1.11. If you guys want to try it out or participate, you'll get an email confirmation to the email that you submit to my website upon the booking to let you know that your prayer has been completed. So when I'm able to get to you on the list, which it won't take that long, I will let you know through email that I have said the prayer for you. Hopefully it helps. Okay. Like, I'm just doing what Spirit has guided me to do. And I wanted to inform you guys about it just in case you wanted to take advantage of it. Okay. So let's see. Guardian angels, archangels, spirit guides, and ancestors of the highest vibration, Father, Mother, God, for Pisces, when it comes to situations that they may be dealing with now or in the near future, Spirit, what is it that you want Pisces to know at this time? What is the message? Oh, Lord. Okay. Lost and found. I just heard that. Lost and found. So there could be something that was lost that you're beginning to find again. This could be yourself. But I heard lost and found. It says ghosted, cowardice, disappearing act. Okay. This could also be like a literal lost and found. Like if your kids or, you know, someone lost something, go look in the lost and found. Okay, I feel like you'll find it there. I also feel like there could be something going on when it comes to like lost items being found on a like ancestral level, like on a spiritual level. The sage is bumping, Bo. But I'm telling you, I don't know whose name is Bo. I said it by accident, but the sage is bumping. There could be lost things that were buried or hidden that are being found. Also, there's this charity aspect that I'm getting to this, to where like if there's lost and founds somewhere, like the people are going to start like donating the lost and found items to people in need or something like that. But whatever has been lost is being found. I also feel like there's a person who is lost in their life, okay? And they want to be found. They may have ghosted you. They may have been a coward. They may have disappeared. When the going got tough, they got going. And that doesn't mean that they kicked into high gear. That means that I feel, abandoned you possibly in a situation. And this person could want a chance to come back into your life. Let's just see. Brick wall. Defense mechanism. Guarded. Hard to reach. Now, Iglesia de Santo Domingo, y'all told me, is the name of a church. It's like a church or something. Ooh. Somebody may be finding religion, but I feel like they're using it as a defense mechanism. There could be people who are turning to spirituality because they feel cast out from religion, or they feel abandoned by God. But I'm just going to say this. If you're going to spirituality, or you're using spirituality as a tool for your improvement, that's great. However, God is everywhere. God is not gate kept by a church wall or a church fence. It's within all of us. The spark of God, source, spirit, universe, the creator, however you want to call it, it's within all of us. And the issue that people have, which we're going to have a conversation about this, maybe we already have, I don't know when I'm going to release this, but the issue with all of this is that people, there are a lot of people who are gifted. There are a lot of people who are very psychic. There are a lot of people who have a direct line, or they're tapped into God. However, it's just become very messy the way that things have been delivered, because I don't care who you are. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care how you were brought up. I mean, I do care. It's a great thing. But what I mean is, we're all talking to the same person, hopefully, right? Like a lot of times you can get lost in the weeds of religion or spirituality, faith, belief, by thinking that it's a different person. And we have all these different religions all over the world. And I don't necessarily co-sign with having one nation, one religion, like how they're trying to, do the CBDC, okay, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't believe in that. I feel like everybody should have the right and the ability to worship, pray, believe, and study whatever beliefs that they have, right? People should not be forced into one box. However, we do have to remember in our own corners of belief that more than likely, if your intentions are pure and you don't want to do any harm to anyone else, and you just want the world to be a better place, more than likely other people in other places, in other religions, feel the same way. They just see it from their own perspective. But a lot of people are too shallow and dense to be able to see that as a reality. So I don't know why I had to go on that rant, but it wasn't really a rant. Anyway, it just feels like someone is blocking you out, or you may be blocking someone out. And it feels like it's to protect yourself, or it's a defense mechanism, or somebody is very defensive and hard to reach. But it's because they're lost. They're searching for themselves. They're trying to be found. They're trying to find who they are. Ooh, not kinky ways. Fantasies, fetishes, a little freaky and open, looking to explore. Dang. Dang. That was two extremes, was it not? And I don't think the kinky card is talking about necessarily complete. I don't think it's completely talking about, sexuality. It could, but those are the different things, like, right, LGBTQ plus community. People who are more spiritual versus being religious. People who like to experiment, explore, research, try new things. I feel like that's what that's representing. And it kind of feels like there's this juxtaposition to reform and rigidity and tradition to the energy of like being more open and, allowing things to flow and being basically just being more fluid. Somebody's trying to find a balance between these two things. You could be trying to find a balance between your humanity and your beliefs when it comes to spirituality. What I found with that, you guys, because it is kind of difficult, is that you can't be too dogmatic. You have to be more pragmatic. You have to be a person. You don't have to do anything because I ain't your mama, but you want to strive to find balance in everything that you do, regardless of what you do, right? People want to talk shit about religion when they're more spiritual, and people who are religious like to talk shit about spiritual people. But the reality is you can have psychosis in either place. And remember, I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or psychologist, so please do not take this as any professional advice. The disclaimer is below. Please seek out your professionals as needed, okay? But there can be insanity in all of these places. You can lose yourself in all of these places. It doesn't matter which one it is. Hold on. Okay, y'all like the video. At the end of the day, you have to be able to maintain your own identity along with what you believe, because, the little thing that they like to call cults, okay? That's where that dogmatic behavior comes from. And dogmatic means like extremely rigid, extremely like serious about whatever it is. If somebody believes that the sky is green and they get around a bunch of other people who also believe the sky is green, but then they're not able to accept a person who comes towards their group of people who, may think the sky is green, but also possibly could think it's blue. That whole conundrum with, was the dress white and gold or was the dress blue and black? Remember the dress? The whole dress conundrum. If you're a millennial, shout out to you, homie. But basically, like, people get so upset about arguing the particulars of a situation to the point where they miss the message. And I feel like somebody is trying to find where they fit in when it comes to a balance between who they are, what they believe, and like the research and questions that they still have about life. Because it's a slippery slope to cultism. All right. So just because you're a spiritual person and you look at the blind behavior of religious people thinking that, oh, that could never happen to me because I'm spiritual, don't get caught up in the okie doke, bitch. Because that's exactly where you might get fucked up. Okay. And I feel like what Spirit is trying to show us in a lot of these scenarios and situations that are playing out right before our eyes is that you have to still maintain your own level of awareness about who it is that you are, what it is that you believe, and what you will and will not do. Because people will include you in a group. That's why I say, listen, I love spirituality. I love different aspects of the occult and esoterics and magic and what people like to call witchcraft. I love these things. I am a millennial. I grew up with Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, and Charmed, and Twitches, and whatever shows that came out. And then also the stuff back in the day. I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, all those shows that I watched back in the day that I would rewatch. Dark Shadows with the vampires, right? Like, that is the type of stuff that I've always liked before it was cool. And listen, if you know what Dark Shadows is, you ain't talking to no punk, okay? I was footing it through the black and white. So at the end of the day, like, you have to see where to draw the line. Okay? There may be some things that go too far that you're going to have to say, you know what? I respect you for doing what you feel like you need to do, but I also respect me enough to do what I feel like I need to do, because there's a lot of fear that's being perpetuated, and there are a lot of things that people want you to co-sign and go along with, which could ultimately make you culpable for some shit that you really don't know what you're getting into, or you really don't want to be involved in, and before you know it, you're already in it. And I said it. All right, what else? Spirit for Pisces. Okay, so we have mean man. Now it's in reverse. See, these two cards technically came out in reverse. I just put them upright for ease of visibility for you guys. But it says this could be a mean-spirited or angry male who was lost, possibly ghosted you, was a coward, a little punk-ass bitch. Not hefty, but wimpy. And they disappeared on you. And you like, what's going on? And I feel like somebody has been mean and ornery and angry their whole life. This person may even look like this, right? Like they may have a receding hairline, thinning hairline. This could be your daddy, your uncle, your brother, your cousin, whoever this is. But they are realizing that this behavior isn't really benefiting them. It's not really getting them anywhere. And I feel like the reason why somebody was so mean and aggressive and hostile, possibly even vindictive, is because they were lost. They didn't know who they are. And it could be, okay, let's listen. Can I go there? Okay. If you continue to watch, then you are giving agreement that I can go there. This could be a man who grew up in the church who is now resentful and angry about what they thought was true because of what they were preached to about in the church, that now they're realizing is a manipulation. Okay. Because we don't know. Well, a lot of us know what happens to women in the church, especially minority women in the church who are groomed to submit to the masculine energy, submit to men, submit to the will and desires of their husbands and spouses. But we don't talk about what happens to men, especially minority men, who get into the church and then realize that that shit is a travesty, that it's a manipulation, that it's an illusion. Because now you got a man who's really angry and trying not to be angry, and who has done certain things in their life off of the teachings and doctrines of the religious upbringing that their grandmother or their mother or their auntie probably dragged them into. And I'm not going to say it was for a bad reason, but shit happens. And now they're realizing that coddling that they received in the church is not what the world is going to give them. And they've been fighting that for a very long time, and they're tired now. They're tired now. And now they're thinking, wow, is it my sins? Is it the things that I've done? Listen, my sage just exploded. And I don't normally do this, but I think some of y'all saw it. Look at that. I told you the sage was bumping. And it burned down so much to where the little prongs, the little hair clip thing that I was holding it with, it just disintegrated. So disintegration, degradation. It feels like there's a man here who doesn't want to be angry anymore and wants to really find himself, because he's been in a situation where he's believed in the doctrines and the teachings and the scriptures of the church. Shout out to all of my Latinos who let me know what that word meant, who let me know what that said right there. Y'all are the truth for real. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal, amigos? Okay. But I feel like this is a man here who is exploring something that was told to him to be evil or negative, and realizing that it's not what it's painted out to be. Maybe there is something to this quote unquote spirituality thing. And this could be a woman going through this as well. A woman who has been trapped in her masculine and is struggling to tap into her feminine. Okay. Y'all, listen, I told you I was going to go there. Now, invitation says you could be receiving an invite to something important in the near future. Okay. And then we have favor. Someone could be asking you to do a favor, or you could be asking someone to do a favor. I feel like there is someone who's going to invite you. Whoever this is I just described could possibly be inviting you in the near future to an event, possibly to sit down and eat, to sit down and talk, to discuss things, because they're trying to figure out who they are. They're trying to find themselves. They're feeling lost. But you know what the test is going to be for you, Pisces? It's going to be, are you going to open up your heart and open up, you know, your empathy, sympathy, or compassion to this person? If you can't be empathetic, Spirit is asking you to be sympathetic. If you can't be sympathetic, they're asking you to at least show some type of compassion. Now, I'm not telling you to go into a dangerous situation where somebody might whoop your ass and put hands and feet on you. I'm not telling you to go sit down with your abuser. I'm not telling you to go over to your abuser's house and risk them putting you in the hospital. That's not what I'm saying. That would be crazy. So cut it out. This is a situation where someone is crying out for help. I'm hearing the song again. Mario, I channeled this recently. The I can feel your heart crying out for me. Hey, come on in and save me. Hey, come on in and save me. Somebody is looking to be saved. Now, you can't, that's not your responsibility. But what I do feel is, if nothing else, you can at least listen and process what somebody is saying. Don't listen to respond. Listen to comprehend. Listen to understand, to understand. And do your best to guide this person as best you can towards what they may need. You can't give them the answers. You can't baby nobody. You can't coddle nobody. I don't care who this person is, but do your best to leave an imprint, an impression, or an influence on this person that may help them to find themselves. If you can't do that, don't say anything at all. If you can't say nothing positive, don't say anything at all. You have the free will choice of whether or not you're going to do that. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you, this is what you're going to be presented with, and you're going to have to make a decision that is going to sit with you and that you will have to deal with for the rest of your life in your soul. So if your soul is screaming out to you to show somebody empathy, sympathy, or compassion, then I suggest you do the right thing, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to think about that. Because if you get that call, because you know, y'all know I'm not the one. I'm not over here pussyfooting around, sugarcoating shit. Y'all know I'm not the one. I don't like when people take advantage of other people. I don't like when, especially a lot of you guys, because I'm a Pisces too, and I know what a lot of you have been through, because I've been through a lot as well. I don't like when people use or abuse y'all. I ride hard for y'all. We ride at dawn. I told members this earlier this week. But what I also know is that it doesn't help anyone or anything to hold grudges to the point where God gives you an assignment and you don't fulfill it simply off of the spitefulness that you feel for what somebody has done to you. I'm just saying. Look. Okay. Despair. At the bottom of the deck, I'm shuffling, and now you have the gift card. I feel like this is a gift that you're being invited to give someone. Listen, it could be a test, bitch. I'm not saying bend your back, do something that puts you in a bad position or to put yourself in danger. That's not what I'm saying. But listen, you heard what I said. What else? Community. Somebody might be trying to change their reputation. because everybody else has ghosted them due to their cowardice behavior. Somebody is tired of this person in the community. We have courthouse and family room. So there's definitely a conflict going on, because the despair card was 32 and the courthouse card is 23. That's a 5 on both sides. Then you have 39, which is a 12, which is a 3. And then you have 21, which is a 3. So 23, 32, 21, 12. These could be ages. It also could have stemmed back to when a person was between 3 and 5 years old. Something happened to them. 3 and 5 years old. Also, like I said, 12, possibly 12 years old, 21, 23, 32, and 39. Those could be significant numbers or ages, time frames. There is a gathering of information or a gathering of people possibly coming together in the community to try to get closer to some type of solution to a problem. It feels like there's definitely someone who's going to ask you a favor, and you're going to have to figure out whether or not you can fulfill that favor realistically. Because I don't suggest that you put yourself in a bind or in a position where you're martyring yourself, sacrificing what you need for the greater good of someone else. But I want you guys to see if, or I challenge you at least, challenge you to see if there's a possibility of creating some type of compromise or equal give and take in a situation. Somebody could be going to court or preparing for court. Somebody could be filing documents, gathering information, getting their identification together, like ID, social security cards, things like that. These could be government documents like that. Some type of permits or notarized letters, anything like that. We could be getting that together because we have to make a decision as a community, or there needs to be a decision made as a group. But then there also needs to be a decision made for yourself, right? This 2 going into the 3 is a decision that needs to be made to help the group overcome a conflict. But the 2 going into a 1 is the decision, because the family room talks about close family, close friends, private spaces that not everybody is included in. The 2 going into a 1 suggests that there also needs to be a decision that's made, which is in your best interests. Because together we need to reach some type of conclusion or settlement. There could definitely be a settlement being offered, or someone wanting to negotiate. This could be mediation of some kind. This could be a meeting with lawyers. But I feel like someone wants to be seen as maybe nicer than what they've been seen. Someone wants to have their reputation bolstered or repaired when it comes to the community. This could be a pastor for some of you guys who is being discovered as someone who is not good. I talked about pastors before. A lot of pastors are being exposed. And you know why? It's because, and it's crazy, I was just on my pedestal preaching a minute ago. But because of everything I said, because they're in these churches doing things that are not of quote unquote God, but then perpetrating and presenting themselves as if they're some anointed being, and, I'm over here on YouTube living in the same place that you and your family could have lived in, or maybe are living in now. I'm not living in no big ass house. I ain't got no motherfucking jet. I don't have no engraved cufflinks or nothing like that. I'm living a very modest life, my loves, and I enjoy it and I'm grateful for it. So thank you all for your support. But there are a lot of pastors and preachers and people in the religious community who, and I've talked about this before, they refuse to give up the pedestal that they're on because they have proclaimed themselves to be something that they're not. Not all of them, because there are some good pastors and preachers out there, and they've been popping up too online, which I really like to see. But there's definitely a lot of them who are too weak to take a stand. And we're about to see the true representation in real life, okay, of the weak being separated from the chaff, or whatever that saying is, right? There's a lot of pastors who are standing up against the injustice that people are experiencing in different countries and governments. There are a lot of pastors who are making a stand. They don't care if they lose constituents, I wanted to say. I don't know. They don't care if they lose support. They don't care if they lose members to their church. They're not going to stand by and just let these travesties be done in the name of God and not say nothing about it, because they were actually called there to do what they're doing. But it's a lot of these punk ass bitches that are in the pulpit that are leading people astray and causing people's lives to be ruined, all in the name of keeping that title of anointed. I don't fuck with that shit. And there's been a lot of conversation about it. And more than likely, by the time you see this reading, I will be having a conversation about this, you guys. So make sure you have your post notifications turned on. If you're vibing with me, if you're really coming in this, reading space with me and, vibing with your fellow Pisces, with your fellow collective, I really would appreciate if you guys could just support the channel and just engage with it. It really does help out a lot. Okay. And turn your post notifications on, because I do be going live and sometimes it's random. Okay. Now, what is this message about for Pisces? What do you want Pisces to know? Ooh. Baby, justice. That's crazy. Oh, I also just heard that somebody gambled and lost. This could be about a Libra or a Taurus. Something also could have happened in Taurus season earlier this year or recently in Libra season. This is about a balancing of the scales. This is about what goes around comes around. It ain't no favoritism. It ain't no this, that. And this is what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these people get into these positions and they lose sight of the plot. Like they begin to forget or miss or just ignore the plot. Right. And, y'all, a lot of you guys have heard me in the past talk about my ex-husband and all the nonsense that we went through. Not just his fault, my fault too. But I remember he told me one time that the pastor of the church that we were going to told him that he was supposed to be a pastor one day. And I often thought about that when I was experiencing a lot of the bullshit that I went through with him. But I want you guys to know when I say this, I'm not trying to chastise him, because y'all don't know that man. But at the end of the day, like, I always saw, and this makes me emotional, so I'm going to try not to get emotional. But I always saw what my ex-husband could be. That's why I sacrificed my college, my teenage years, my body to have children with him and marry him. Because I knew in his soul that he had the capability to be somebody great, to be someone amazing, to really make change in the world. He was patient in the good times. He was smart in the good times in his own unique way. His perspective on life was different. And it just, I think that's why I was so angry for so long about what he did to me, because I believed in him and I felt like, I just felt like I believed in him in a way that other people, from what he told me, didn't believe in him. And for him to treat me in such a hateful way and to cause so much pain in my life and to cause so much pain in my children's life and his children's life that he knew I loved so much, it just broke me to a level that I can't even really articulate. And it kind of feels, as I reflect upon this emotion, because I channel and, I just have to say what's on my heart. I just feel that this situation is not going to spare anyone. Whatever this energy is, whatever this sequence of events may transpire to be, it's not going to spare anyone. It's not going to save anyone. There's no one that will be overlooked or, pushed to the side or given any type of special treatment or favoritism. Everyone is going to be a part of whatever this is that's coming. And, when the pastors say get right with God, because we're in the end times, I don't really think we're in the end times. I don't think we're ever going to be in the end times, even centuries from now. What I feel is happening is that it's just a transition. And I was talking to one of my good members earlier today about endings and beginnings and how oftentimes we forget what the ending means and we only see one part of it. We forget that the ending is a harbinger for the beginning because we get so nervous and anxious and scared about what we're transitioning into. We get afraid because we don't know what's coming. We become fearful of how it might look and the fact that it may be worse than what we're already going through or experiencing. And that causes us to cling to things that we know don't serve us, but that because they're familiar, it's the devil we know instead of the devil we don't. And it kind of feels like, it just feels like this is an energy where some of you guys are going to be invited to something or witnessing something that could be very difficult to, what's the word? It could be very difficult to dissect in your mind. It could be very difficult to rationalize because there may be parts of the situation that look unfair, either on your side or someone else's, but that aren't unfair because that is what justice is. It's a catalyst, it's a means to an end. It's basically, the seeds that you plant are going to produce the harvest that you reap. You reap what you sow. And, I feel like there are a group of people here or a community that's involved in a situation, whether this is a big situation that's happening on a more collective scale or whether this is something that you're witnessing in your own personal life. I feel like there's definitely a balancing out, a leveling of the playing field because the people who are actually making changes could receive justice that you may feel like is not fair. Right? These may be people that you feel like have done heinous shit, but they may be forgiven or pardoned. Ooh, child, didn't know I was going to say that, but you know what I mean. And you may not feel like it's fair, but you're not God. You cannot judge. You have to make peace with the things that people have done to you and the experiences that you've had and the triggers that may come up to the surface so that you're not affected in a negative way to the point where you do something that you would regret. To the point where you do something that could cause you to have to deal with excess karma or karmic debt that you have to pay back. That's what I'm here to help you rationalize. And I know sometimes it doesn't seem fair. Like, how could this person get this and get that and have this and have that when they did XYZ to me? And you have every right to feel that way. But it definitely feels like a situation where someone is trying to find themselves and they're trying to get back on the right track and kind of unscramble their mind so that they can see clearly. And, just like you may have been through things and done things that you maybe regret or wish you could have done differently, everybody else feels the same way. But it is a situation also where I feel a lot of people who thought they were going to get a pass or special treatment or some type of favoritism because of their profession, because of what they do, because of their position, because of their title, aren't going to get that special treatment, and they're going to be looking a little crazy, coming around to people who are actually doing the work and asking for these handouts and these favors and these gifts. So you're going to have to be very keen when it comes to using your discernment so that you can differentiate between the people who deserve your pardon or deserve your assistance or deserve your gifts and the people who need to kick rocks barefoot with no shoes on, fresh out the bathtub, bitch. Okay, Two of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. Child, it's somebody out here hanging on by a thread. Okay, it's hanging on by a thread. Y'all millennials who remember back in the day when people would glue tracks on their head. I mean, they still do it now. But you remember back in the day when you used to part your hair and just glue the track straight to your scalp. Straight. Okay. And then you could tell when the track was coming out because you would see the little string hanging down with the track. Yeah. That's what I mean when I say hanging on by a thread. Somebody is trying to keep it together. Waiting for this justice to come, and they're getting afraid that they won't receive it, or the walls are starting to close in on somebody here. And now all of what they did in the past is coming back up to the surface. And that's the justice. And I'm telling y'all every time, even if somebody does have to deal with the seeds that they've sown, you aren't going to necessarily see it, but you may feel it because you could be experiencing it in your own life. So be grateful for the decisions that you've made that have put you in kind of an easier position, but don't be quick to call the kettle black when you the pot. Cause it's all fun and games until it happens to you. And it's, again, this is the saying of the year. As soon as you think you're untouchable, that's when your ass gets touched. So let's see. Capricorn energy, Libra, Taurus, possibly Gemini. What's this Justice card? The Chariot. Wow. Another major arcana. Cancer energy, possibly Aries energy as well. Strength, Leo. Good Lord. And the Nine of Pentacles. So this could be a Virgo born in September. This could also be a Libra born in September. Somebody feels ashamed of their actions, Pisces. There's a person here who I feel like is seeing you be in a position of independence, or like you're good. You're prepared for this. And it's crazy because a lot of times, unfortunately, there are things that we go through that are pretty shitty sometimes, but fortunately, those things prepare us and help us grow for situations like this when the shit start hitting the fan and the whole room gets funked out. Leo energy, Cancer energy, Aries energy. Someone could definitely be trying to find the courage to move forward on their own in a situation where they feel like they need help. There could be a person here who feels guilty or ashamed of their actions towards you, and they feel like they need to balance the scales. Because remember, this mean man came out in reverse, and the Lost card came out in reverse. Somebody's coming towards you and trying to work up the courage to approach you in order to create some type of balance in a situation because they want to make something right. What else? Oh, look at that. The Knight of Swords and the Hermit. Virgo energy, Libra energy, Gemini, Aquarius. I feel like somebody discovered who the real snake is. There's been an investigation on somebody as well. Somebody could be being investigated legally for sure with the Chariot and the Justice card. I also feel like the snake has been discovered, or we found the fly in the ointment. The call is coming from within the house. So somebody may have found out who was the mole, or who was the spy, or who was the informant. Ooh, 7 of Swords with the strength. Told you. Who's being sneaky? Now, I feel like this also could be a person who wants to bring you some type of information that you did not know about, in order to get into your good graces and maybe persuade you to help them. However, I feel like they're only giving you this information for some of you because they are stuck in a bind, right? Like if it would have benefited them to keep this information hidden even longer, they would have done so. The only reason why they're telling you now is because it benefits them to tell you, because you may be able to help them. This is a strategy somebody has to, they're still not going to tell you the full story. They're only still giving you bits and pieces of the information. And I feel like you've already kind of uncovered or discovered that this person is a sneaky, lying deceiver, somebody who could be a manipulator, somebody who could be snake-like. And I feel like you know that there's something that they're not telling you, or there's parts of the story that they're leaving out, because it's like you have this sneaky suspicion or this sneaky fear in the back of your mind that if you move forward with this person, or if you do whatever they're asking you, that you may regret it. So I would definitely listen to that. I would not go against that, even if I'm saying, hey, turn the other cheek, be like Jesus. That don't mean nothing. I told y'all, go with your own intuition. You may want to limit your involvement with someone. I also feel like you guys are keeping your strategy secret when it comes to what you're doing, and you're only divulging parts of what you know, because at the end of the day, everybody don't need to know everything. And I feel like that's benefiting you. It's helping you create this barrier. It feels like a barrier. It's helping you create this barrier or this boundary between you and people who want to rush you into things, or who want to manipulate you into things, or who come towards you wanting what you have because they're going through something negative and they expect for you to help them. Because there's definitely somebody here who's down and out. There's somebody here who's down and out and they need your help. You know? Have you ever helped the homeless person who's out there begging for money, and you go into the Publix and get them a nice gourmet sandwich, and then you give it to them and they act like they mad? Okay. This person could be like that. You know? Because sometimes, you could try to help people all day, but people also sometimes don't like it when you don't tell them what they want to hear. That's why people don't fucking like me. A lot of y'all are smarter than that, though. Okay. And you realize that I'm not telling you what you want. I'm telling you what you need. And you respect that. And therefore I respect you right back. So I continue to show up as an authentic person. But there are a lot of people who you may have experienced this, where you give them an inch and they want to take a mile. You give them a hand and they want to take your whole arm. And you got to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Calm down. Listen, cause now you're pissing me off. What else does Pisces need to know? Ooh, woman crying. Interesting. We have single man and turbulence. Interesting. What is this woman crying, child? Excuse me. Somebody could have made somebody cry. What's the woman crying? What is this woman crying? Knight of Cups? So somebody's going to apologize for making you cry? Or like, okay, so if you're a masculine and a woman is coming towards you, they're going to come towards you crying with all this apologies and I'm sorry's and all this other stuff. If you are a feminine energy or a woman, there could be a man coming towards you apologizing for making you cry. 3 of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups. I recognize what I've done. I'm taking accountability for what I've done. I'm sorry. But see, with the 4 of Cups, heard it all before. Baby this, baby that. But your lies ain't working now. Look who's hurting now. See, I had to shut you down. I had to shut you down. You could be getting recognized at work too. Some of you guys may have gotten some type of promotion or raise, a bonus. You could be getting attention for whatever it is you're working on, whatever you're doing. The strong foundations that you're building. Yeah, we have the Hangman. Ooh. Wow. King of Pentacles and the 8 of Wands. Wow. This person has been trying to keep you stuck and drain you of your resources. Probably for a long time. Or get you to foot the bill for a long time. And to keep you stuck and prevent you from moving forward as quickly as God intended you to. By telling you things to make you wait, or by saying things, making promises that they weren't going to keep. Something is beginning to move really quickly with your work, and now that's why they're coming in with this apology. What was the card that was with the 3 of Pentacles? It was a 4 of Cups. I feel like they regret it. Whatever somebody did to keep you stuck or drain your resources, they regret it, because now this person is going through some type of turbulence. They asking you for a favor. Can you help me? Can you help me? See, now this is my thing. If my ex-husband comes to me and asks for help, it's not that I'm not going to want to help him. And I honestly, I don't want him to ask me for help. Please don't. Don't put that on me. I don't want nothing to do with it. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. But if he were to come and ask me for help, right? I would really have to know everything about the situation. And from, ooh, snap, not them scared. No, scared. From the pure fact that I know that he's lied to me so many times about so many things in a malicious way and then found it funny. You know, I just don't know how involved I would want to be in the situation. So some of you may feel like that, right? And, you know, I'm not saying that you should judge anybody, because, again, I wouldn't judge the man for coming to me and asking for help. But, like, why do you need this help? Because this, and that is happening. Okay, why is this, and that happening? Okay, because of this, that. Ooh, feeling anxious just popped up. I feel like there's a situation where you need to really ask why. Why is someone asking you for a favor? Why is someone coming to you now of all times? Why is this even going on? Why is this a reality in this person's life? Why is it you that they're asking for help? You know, like there needs to be a deep reflection. And if we get down to all the whys, and I feel like you're actually being honest with me, and my discernment and intuition says that I should help you because, you know, dogs barking. All right. Then I'll help you. But if we get down to it and I don't feel comfortable with it, or I feel anxious or uneasy, or, you know, I feel like I got to go boo-boo, I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm not going to do it. I won't hurt you and then feeling anxious. Quit capping. See, you're going to feel like whoever this person is not being truthful with you, because I feel like there's been too much that you have discovered about what somebody says to move you forward and get you to do something on their time when they want you to, but then to renege later on about their agreements to you, right? Like if somebody says, oh, can you take me here, take me there, and I'll give you gas money on Friday when I get paid. I'm just trying to get to work and not lose my job, right? Because it could be as simple as that. And you're like, yeah, I'll take you to work. I don't want you to lose your job. But then 5 of Swords on Friday when they get paid, all of a sudden now all this stuff came up and they can't give you your gas money. Now you down and out. and can't get where the fuck you need to go. These are the dualities of spirituality. These are the dualities of these situations that you have to consider. Yeah. 5 of Swords, 4 of Swords. That's the 9 of Swords. I feel like you feel anxious that somebody is claiming that they're sorry, or they're claiming that they want forgiveness, or they're claiming that they need your help and that they're going to come through for you. But it's like, Star card, 9 of Cups. You would hope, you would hope that they do it. Wishful thinking. Yeah, you would like for them to do it. You would like for them to keep their word. But reality is, truth is, they probably won't. 5 of Swords. Yeah, because there's too many confirmations of this person disappointing you in the past and lying in the past. They know. I'm just letting you know, Pisces, they know that you hope that they're telling the truth because they know how much they lied to you. And they know that because you hope that they're telling the truth, that you will be more swaying on the side of amnesty. All right. Truth is, I never got over you. Wish I was standing in her shoes. And when it's all said and done, guess I'm still in love with you. Truth is, I never should have let you go. Man, that was a good song. And the truth is no, but the false mind. 'Cause I let him go. Try to think. Okay, anyway. Queen of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. See, you're a gem, Pisces. You know, you're unique because you look at the bright side of situations. You try to focus on the positive when you make these decisions. You try to have wishful thinking. You try to be optimistic with the Star card. You know, it's a very Aquarius energy. And it's an energy that a lot of people misunderstand about Aquariuses because of like how the energy kind of presents itself. It looks bad sometimes, or it looks scary, or it looks ominous, or maybe it even appears standoffish, but it's actually very pure. And I just feel like you have a lot of value, and I feel like you value optimism and positivity and love. It just feels like somebody could be coming towards you with problems. And I just want you to be very real about the way that you deal with this situation and whatever this person is requesting of you. I think that there could be some information that they're not letting you know. They're not privying you to all of the information in this situation. Not at all. And I want you to be very cautious. Because, know your worth. Don't be distracted by what somebody is doing to, butter you up. And for you cross watchers, that's fine. There could be a Pisces here that I'm talking about that is in this same predicament as I'm explaining it to Pisces. So whoever, it really doesn't matter. Any final messages for Pisces? Within reason on their end. Reasonable requests. So it's either a reasonable request, concern, expectation, or reaction. Okay. So if you say no, I feel like this person is going to understand because they know that they've lied. And it's like either they know that they've lied and they're going to understand if you turn them down and say no because they're really trying to turn their life around, or because they know they've lied, they understand how to manipulate you. Yeah, stringing you along. It's going to be either or maybe both. Hell, stringing you along, not serious, leading you on, off and on communication, inconsistencies, actions not matching words, and misleading. Right. The time is now. I don't know what that means. I feel like make the decision that's best for you. and hope for the best with this Two of Wands, Nine of Cups, and the Star card, because I don't want you guys being stressed out over someone else's issues. Because honestly, at the end of the day, nobody is obligated to help you, just like you're not obligated to help anyone else. But I do feel like if your spirit is telling you to do what you can, even if it's not what they're asking, I feel like you should listen to that. What is this? The time is now. I don't know what that is. Ooh, Queen of Swords, Three of Swords. All right. So it kind of feels like Spirit is letting you know that you're going to have to cut through the bullshit. You're going to have to take this Queen of Swords energy out and see the truth through the lies. You may have to pray about it, pray on it, ask God what to do. I don't know, child. You're going to have to fall back on your experience, really, with the Queen of Swords. That's what it's saying as well. You're going to have to fall back on your experience with this person, what you've seen, their history with you. It's like with the Queen of Swords, she's willing to listen, but she ain't going to tolerate no bullshit. She ain't going to tolerate no hoopla or no shenanigans. And I feel like if the truth is that this person has lied so many times and you don't know if you can trust them, that is the truth. That is the only truth that matters. If the truth is that you don't know if this person is telling you the truth right now, that is the only truth that matters. And I feel like that's what you should end up ultimately making your decision based off of. Yeah, because you're building something here that's very significant. I feel like you need to recognize the time, energy, and effort that you may have put into a situation that this person may not be happy about, and how that could affect the way that they choose to move in this situation. Because with this Hermit card, and it's showing this snake, y'all, listen, I love to be positive, but I'm not going to be so positive that I'm being stupid. Okay. And that's what I want for you. Let me get an advice card for you guys. Y'all be sure to like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe. Again, we're on the road to 50K and we're going to get there. Okay. Also, if you found benefit in this reading, Pisces, it is very helpful for you to donate if you can. It's not easy, but, I'm not complaining. I just ask that if you found this reading to be extremely helpful for you, please consider donating through PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. The super thanks is great, but the PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle donation is actually, to me, going to go a little bit further, okay, just to help continue to bring these readings out to you efficiently, you guys. I don't want you to feel obligated or go beyond your means in any situation, because I know all of us are out here trying to pay rent, child. Rent, mortgage, light bill, gas bill, all these things. And, I want you to look out for yourself first and foremost. But I also, just ask that even if it's just $1 and you can spare it, it would definitely help out a lot. Okay. Thank you guys to everyone who has donated. I really appreciate you and all of my members. Let's see. What's the advice for Pisces Spirit? Child. What is the advice? Ooh, amethyst, temperance. Look at that beautiful color. Now, it says everything in moderation, including moderation. I love that. I love that card. Everything in moderation, including moderation, which means if somebody went to the extreme with you, you're not going to the extreme if you don't want to sacrifice yourself for them. Because as soon as you're on the edge of the cliff trying to help somebody get up, they may use the momentum of pulling you down over the cliff to get themselves up. I also feel like sometimes you got to go big or go home. Sometimes you got to take it there. But balance is the key, and seeking balance. I feel like you've learned a lot going within. And I feel like, you have a message that you want to share that needs to be shared, or there's something you need to say that needs to be said. And I feel like you should do that. I also feel like reformation is possible. But there also has to be enough evidence to show that the reformation is authentic and genuine. Okay. Now, Malachi says judgment, Lord. Reserving judgments is a matter of infinite hope. So yeah, so don't judge this person, but also don't judge yourself. Like if you don't trust someone and they're asking you for help, don't feel bad by telling them no. You have not proven to me that I can trust you and therefore feel okay helping you. That's cool. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. But just understand that wherever somebody is at, even if they're in a place that's not so favorable, that you either have been there before or you could be there. Sometimes we all just a paycheck away, bitch. So, and then aquamarine, expand connection. Okay. Both of the Pisces cards for February with amethyst and March for aquamarine. Expand connection. The quality of your communication is the quality of your life. So if you have any gemstones for your birthday month, Pisces, I feel like it would be helpful, especially if you do take this invitation or you do meet this person to talk, to wear that. Okay, wear some aquamarine, wear some amethyst. If you were born in February, wear the amethyst. If you were born in March, wear the aquamarine. Or if you don't have either, try to get you some malachite. If you have whatever you have, tiger's eye, bitch, like whatever it is that you have as a form of protection, or even clear quartz, because clear quartz can help cleanse and absorb impurities. All right. But try to communicate clearly. I feel like that's what you're doing. I feel like you're learning how to communicate more clearly and express yourself more articulately when it comes to being in alignment with the message that you actually want people to hear. Okay. Anyway, I feel like you're going to get through whatever this is, but you have to remember that you have the right to make whatever decision is best for you. And I hope that helped y'all. Okay. Like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe, you guys. Book your reading. If you want a reading, if you want me to pray for you, if you want to do an email correspondence where we chat, because I'm your pen pal now. Okay. All of that is in the description box with the link to my website and my services, you guys. Again, if you want to donate, use PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. Leave me a comment below and let me know if this resonated, Pisces. And I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, this is our circle, booze. Bye.